The Senate has proposed a transportation revenue package which calls for an 11% gas tax increase among other taxes and fees. What are your thoughts on the proposal?
Well, the Senate proposal just came out last week, and it does raise gas taxes over, I think, a 4-year span, 11.7 cents. I've got a lot of concerns about the significant tax increase that represents. In addition to the gas tax increase, there are also other fees. For instance, a car tab fee of $40 for those who live within the Sound Transit taxing district. So this will really increase fees and taxes on Washingtonians. With that said, I also understand that our state's transportation infrastructure needs significant repair and maintenance, and the only way to do that is through a gas tax, because the gas tax is directly protected by the 18th Amendment to the Washington State Constitution, so it has to go directly to highway maintenance, operations, and new construction for state highways. And so there's really limited availability to find other revenue sources besides the gas tax, and we do have an infrastructure system in place that we need to maintain. We've got significant needs in the 5th District for projects. First and foremost is SR 169 that needs to be expanded to 4 lanes from Maple Valley to where the current SR 169 is now 4 lanes. We need to finish SR 18 from Issaquah Hobart Road all the way to I-90. We also need to remodel and construct that new interchange at SR 18 and I-90. And then along I-90 in Issaquah, we need to add lanes from Issaquah to Bellevue, both east and westbound, as well as improving the on and off ramps and interchanges right there at SR 900 and Front Street. So there are lots of needs that we have in the 5th District, needs that only will be met through an additional revenue source, most likely from the gas tax. I think that if these projects would directly reduce congestion and commute times, I think that there might be a positive return on investment. I sent out a survey last Friday to voters in the 5th District to ask what their thoughts are. And I'm still going through those emails to hear from folks in terms of what they think about that revenue package. I do think that it's going to be a significant hurdle to get through the House. I'm not going to just support a tax increase, a gas tax increase, without much needed reforms to the Department of Transportation. And those reforms have to be in place prior to any revenue increase from other sources.
You mentioned that you'd like to see a transportation package paired with reforms. Are there reforms that have been proposed so far?
There are. In fact, the motto here in the House Republican Caucus, as well as in the Senate, is fix it before you fund it. Fix what we have in place now in terms of the problems with DOT, and get these much needed reforms passed before we go to the voters and constituents for additional tax increases. In the House, we had introduced 11 bills that would provide for reforms. The Senate introduced very similar companion bills in the Senate last week, and they were heard in a Senate committee I believe last Thursday. These reforms include, and these are all, again, designed to reduce the cost of projects, get projects done quicker and more efficiently, and that equates to less construction costs and less cost for all Washingtonians. We need to stop charging sales tax on state transportation projects. That's one reform. Another reform is looking at how we can make improvements to our permit process and how we can efficiently get through the permit process, because time is money in these mega projects in particular. So the more time we're in the permit process, the more costly these projects become. So if we can streamline the permit process, we will reduce the cost and everyone will be better off. Also, we need to look at prevailing wage. It costs twice as much to build a project in Washington State as it does in other states that are on the West Coast and throughout the country. And a lot of that is because of problems in our permit process, as well as our inflated labor costs that we charge the state through our inflated state prevailing wage levels. And finally, we need to make sure that that we amend the state's transportation goals to include congestion relief and freight mobility as a goal that the DOT must be assessed in terms of performance by. Right now, amazingly, congestion relief and freight mobility are not in the goals of WashDOT. And by adding these goals and expecting performance measures to these goals, we can alter the way DOT does business. I'm Representative Jay-Rodne, and I always welcome your feedback, ideas, and questions. If I can ever be of any assistance to you, please let me know by calling, writing, or sending me an email. I also encourage you to sign up for my email updates by visiting my website at www.representativejrodne.com and entering your email address at the top of the page. Stay tuned for more updates this session. Thank you for allowing me to serve you.